Got this. Got this. Got this. Oh, got this. Oh, got this. Got this after dark. Got this after dark. Got this out. Got this out. Got this out. Got this after.
Yeah. Summon the shadows. Awaken, O three divine mothers of the night.
Got this out. 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 Got this out.
Tonight, we begin where humanity has always begun, before the temples, before scriptures, before the names we gave the divine. We begin with fire. Fire is one of the oldest sacred companions our ancestors ever knew. It warmed them through the darkness, prepared their food, illuminated hidden paths, protected them from the unknown, and when necessary, reduce what no longer served them to ash. Fire has always carried two faces, the power to create and the power to destroy. And within that paradox lives transformation itself. Every flame is a reminder that nothing remains unchanged. What enters the fire leaves transformed. That is why across cultures and spiritual traditions, fire has never been viewed as ordinary. It has been honored as a messenger, a purifier, a witness between the physical and the spiritual realms. When we light a candle with conscious intentions, we are doing far more than igniting wax and wick. We are creating a living vessel, a sacred point where thought, emotion, prayer, and purpose meet the language of flame. The candle becomes an altar, carrying our intentions upward while illuminating what may have been hidden within us all along. Tonight, we invite you to journey with us into the mysteries of candle magic and the language of fire. Sister, Goddess Mystic Light, will begin by guiding us into the theory, revealing what candle magic truly is and the spiritual principles that gives this practice its enduring power. Then Sister Goddess Indigo will lead us into the practice and interpretation, showing us how to choose the proper tools, work intentionally with candle magic, and understand the messages revealed through the flame. And then finally, you'll be exploring the spirit of fire with me, the goddess Southern, and why this ancient element has been revered throughout history and how we prepare ourselves before ever striking a match. So, if you're ready, quiet the noise around you, open your mind, trust your intuition, and let us step together into the sacred language of fire. Before we do, Goddess Indigo will be leading us into a beautiful invocation. No? Okay. All right. I'm going to just go on and get off here. All right. I'm going to get off here. Mystic Light.
First, what candle magic actually does. We're talking about the candle itself, and the goal to explain why candle magic works when done with focus, structure, and spiritual discipline. So let's just dive into this. So We're going to talk about how the candle itself is not magic, but the candle is a tool, not the source of power. Intention, focus, and spiritual alignment activates the work, and the flame symbolizes illumination and transformation. So the candle itself is what we are using as the body, okay? That candle is what's going to hold that intentions. Once you put your intentions into this candle, it is seated in that body of candle. So the practitioner directs the work. You are the practitioner. I'm jumping right on into this candle magic and why the candle actually works. See, a candle is not magic because it's burned. It becomes magical when consciousness aligns its purpose. I've got some tools over here that's falling. Let me get into them. Okay. So you understanding that when we do candle work, the practitioner does the direct work. Conscious intentions give directions to the ritual. Prayer and meditation, visualize and focus will guide the energy. So ethical practices and clear purpose strengthens the work. So as the practitioner, when you are doing candle work, it is very important to know your intention, because intentions matter. That's what's going to go into the body of the candle. And as you meditate with that, once you light that, those intentions are in that candle. That candle is for that intention. It's imperative also to understand that you got to be very clear and direct with intentions. So the practitioner actually does the work when putting the intention into the candle. So the wax becomes the physical body of the intention. So understanding what the tool is very important when doing candle magic. So the wax becomes the physical body of intention. The wax represents the physical vessel for the petition. Then you can go ahead, after you have put in and smeared your candle, smudged your candle, cleansed your candle, that's when you're going to add your intentions. That's when you're going to actually know what this candle is for. You can add oils, you can add herbs, carvings, colors. Colors matter as well when we're doing magic with candles. The colors definitely matter because all colors represent something. All colors represent something, and they're good for direct intentions. Now, when you get your candle together and you have your intentions, you have your petitions, you have your prayer, you know exactly what this candle is for, whether you're using it for healing, manifesting, calling in, pushing out. It is very important to understand that all of that has to be very direct in your candle. You have to meditate with your candle, holding your candle, putting your energy in the candle. You cannot miss that step. That step is very important. That's the first step. Once you have done that, then you will go and understand the lighting of the flame. The fire, it transformed the physical thought into energetic energy. So once you have set that and you lit that candle, the fire symbolizes the transformation and action. The flame carries focused intentions from the physical into the spiritual. So the burning process represents movement, release, and manifestation. So once you light it, it is activating. That candle is activating the intentions that you have put in it. So the flame carries the spirit and receives, and it receives. So the manifestation flows. So this is slide. One thing you need to know is intentions give the ritual life. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are clear that intentions give the ritual life. So your intention really gives the ritual life when you're doing candle magic. Intention is the soul of your spell work. It tells the universe what you're calling in, shifting, or sealing. So you have to, the intention is number one. That's so important to know why and what you are doing your candle work for. You can't just say, "Oh, I just want to do candle. Let's do a candle." What is the intention of the candle? It matters. A candle without intention is just wax and wick. Your intention is what transforms it into a living request. That's why the body, then your light, which is your fire, you're symbolizing the energy, the source. So be clear, specific, and in present tense. Speak as if it's already yours. So when you're doing candle magic and you're doing your intentions, you're speaking as if it's happening. So you write it down, speak it aloud, and feel it in your body. When your intentions is true and aligned, even a small flame can move mountains. Even a small flame can move mountains. So understanding your intention, that intention is what gives your ritual the life. Number two, also remember or know, if you don't know, that repetition strengthens energetic momentum. So when you're doing your candle magic, you have to understand that repetition strengthens energetic momentum. Energies respond to consistency. So the more you reinforce your intention with ritual, the stronger the signal you send. So each time you light that candle with the same purpose, you build a pathway in the unseen. Repetition doesn't mean mindless. Each lighting deepens the root and expands the reach. So make it a practice, make it a rhythm, make it powerful. You're not just lighting a candle, you're building momentum with the divine. So always, what I would say, show attention to your candle because it's working for you. You're sending out or pulling in. So that energetic momentum really builds the quality of the response. Now, focus. Number three, focus is more important than superstition. So you definitely have to focus. The universe doesn't require perfection, just presence. So you don't need like I would say focus your intention and use the universe energy to pull in. So if you are focusing on moon phases, that's fine. That's fine. That also assists with the energy that's coming in. You need clarity and belief to focus energy. So superstition creates fear. That's why we don't deal with superstition. We focus and create alignment. So stay in your power and trust your intuition. Your beliefs is the real magic. Keep your mind on the goal. Clear mind, strong focus, pure intentions. That's the real formula when doing candle magic. So, number 4, also conscious rituals. Conscious rituals. Conscious rituals um, is our next. Conscious rituals differs completely from casual burning a candle. Okay. Oh, the slide is still up. Well, on focus. But conscious rituals. Casual burning versus conscious rituals. So when if you're gonna casual burning is like with no clear intentions, no energetic direction, done out of habit or mood, when energy is scattered, and little to no lasting impact. So when people just say, okay, just go burn the candle, you're not gonna get any magic because it's just a casual burn. But when you're conscious and you're doing a conscious ritual, it's clear, it's specific, it has intentions, it's focused energy and direction, done with purpose and presence. Energy is aligned and amplified, and it creates real shifts and lasting results. So, in this particular segment, intentions, repetition, focus, and conscious ritual matters when doing candle magic. Getting a clear and understanding of all those things will make you have a successful uh, candle burning experience, because everything matters here. Everything matters. So the body, the candle, the light, your focus, your momentum, and where you place your candle. If you're doing altar rituals, make sure your altar is clean. We talked about that in the previous episodes, because your candle is going to draw in the energy to release. So, summing up that with candle magic, we understand, or you have gained the knowledge that the candle itself is not magical. The practitioner directs the work. Wax becomes the physical body of intention. Fire transforms physical thought into energetic movement. And intentions give the ritual life. Repetition strengthens energetic momentum. Focus is more important than superstition, and conscious rituals differs completely from casual burning a candle. So now that we have gathered those tools, we are gonna send it over right on to Indigo Goddess.
Hello, Mystics. Hello. All right. So we're going to thank you so much, Mystic Light, for opening us up for this segment for the candle, magic, and language of fire. So we're just going to keep going and take it a little deeper and keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into it. All right. So the question now is, how do I choose the right candle for the work I'm doing? Okay, so I'm going to put some slides here on the screen so you all are able to see those slides. Okay, where am I here? Okay, I am right here, adding myself here to the stage. All right, y'all. Okay, so we're going to talk about color, timing in depth. We're going to talk about color, timing, and candle selection, because this is very important. You know, it's very important, like Mystic Light was telling you all, to create that intention, All right. Um, your color vibration, your timing, right? Everything is based upon this when you are doing your candle magic. It's not just happenstance where you just pick up a candle, make a wish. We're just going to use that word for, aesthetic effects. But make a wish and then bam, light your candle. Now if you have those intentions for that to work, again, it's you're setting your attention, you're focused upon it. So the materials gives us a strong foundation in itself. The intention that it dedicates the ritual. The tools that we use, the color, the incense, the timing. The candle is not the power itself, though, right? We talked about this many a times. It's not that the fact these are tools. It's not that the fact the candle is the powerful one. You are the powerful one. The candle is just symbolic focus that helps us direct our mind and activate the intentions that we have for ourselves, right? So let's go ahead and begin and go a little deeper into those works and on the candle in itself, right? So the first thing that we're going to be doing is talking about the intention. I want to teach to you intention comes before the color, right? So if you are manifesting, love, money, balance, a new job, or whatever it is that you're manifesting into your life, maybe oneness with self. Those are things you can also do candle magic for. If you feel like you are a little off balance or you want to do some candle work on your chakras, this can also happen because, again, these are physical representation that you're using these tools that is then working with you on the unseen side, on the unconscious side, the subconscious. I don't want to use the word unconscious, but the subconscious side. Okay. Don't choose the candle first, right? Some people may like, okay, well, I'm going to choose a green candle now. Let me figure out what I want to do with the green candle. No, first set your intentions upon what you're looking for, what you're trying to manifest, and then do your research and then select the appropriate candle for your workings, right? The intention tells us in itself, because once you set that intention, what you'll figure out what color you need, maybe even the size of candle, which you're going to go over, the type of candle, that's important. We're going to go over that as well. Timing, that's important. So we're going to go over that. And then also what ingredients may belong in the working. So these are all the things that you gather when you create the intention first, right? Because a candle must match your energetic goal, right? Right. So what you're putting forth, it has to match that energy in order to connect, right? A confused intention, what does that do? It creates a confused candle work. You be all over the place. If you over here trying to manifest love and you using a black candle, I mean, if you want some dark love, I guess, but a candle does not tell the spirit what to do. Your intentions does. Okay. The candle simply gives that intention a body, a color, and a frame. So in this series, we also utilize a few books. So I just want to quote something from here from Philip Cooper's book on simple candle magic. Because we're not asking you to, read a thesaurus on candle magic. No, we're going to give you basic tools. Basic. All you need is the basic, because everything else you add to it is your magic. Okay. But he says, Philip Cooper says that the system is very useful here because in his book, he emphasizes planning the ritual before performing it, right? Like I was telling you. Think out the intention, plan the ritual, prepare, of course, relax yourself, then perform the ritual. This is very a clear path to your manifestation. He also says that you should consider, of course, other things such as timing, moon phases, planetary aspects, which I'll go into a little bit of that, the number of candles you need, and so forth. Right. So now let's go a little deeper and into color. Right. We're gonna go into the color because the guy that's sitting here with all these beautiful color candles. Well, let's talk about what exactly do they mean? Right. Color as vibration, symbol, and the spiritual language, right? So color is the language that the candle wears. And we know that the fire is the language that the candle speaks. Okay. So color is not just visual. No. The color carries vibration, it carries mood, it carries symbolism, it carries spiritual correspondence, right? In candle magic, color helps the subconscious mind. The candle helps on the altar. Remember, I said the altar is what? A physical representation of your subconscious in itself. And the unseen realm, this is the way the unseen realm understands things, right? The nature of the work in itself. And when we add the fire to that candle, it activates the color in itself, right? The wax in itself in the candle, it holds the charge, right? It holds the energy of your petition. It holds the energy of what you're putting out into your universe to bring back to you. And again, when we release that flame, as you see here, then the flame itself creates that current that energy rides upon. So let's go deeper into these colors, right? So go ahead and get your pens and paper out. You know, you can always refer back to this video, but you know, now it's nothing like the present. Okay. So look at here at these color candles. You know, we're not going to go point for point, word for word. You can write down some of these items here yourself, but I just want to briefly go over as we're looking here. So of course, white, using a white candle will bring clarity, cleansing, purification. If you're looking for peace or truth, right? White is also heavily symbolized, like in our last episode, episode 10 of your altar is a portal. It's your ancestor. You know, it's a spirit elevation color for the candle, right? And also, key thing about a white candle, if you are doing different works like a money ritual, a love ritual, and you don't have a green candle or you don't have a white candle, a red candle for love or pink, a white candle is always a stand-in. You can always use a white candle if that's all that you have access to, or you have immediately at the time. You can use a white candle to kind of step in and substitute for any color because the white is a blank slate. And with that, again, it's your intentions that you're putting into the candle, right? So if you are putting that intentions of wanting money and the candle is white, then you would just put that green energy into the candle. You know, you would, again, let your subconscious know and understand that right now, this white is going to stand for this green, okay? because white is a universal key. And when you do not know which current to call, white holds the doorway open. So now let's talk about a black candle. That's usually a lot of protection, banishing. How about uncrossing or reversal? What about when we do shadow work? Black candle is a perfect candle to use. Or if you want to go deep for deep meditation, into the abyss, the black abyss, you can use a black candle. And the black doesn't mean evil at all. Please get out of that elementary program, right? Expand your mind. Black means depth, right? Boundaries, absorption, right? So you can use the black for different things, protection, all the way down to going deeper within yourself, right? Consequence, I didn't even say that on here. So let's look at a red candle. Now, a red candle could absolutely mean passion. It can also double as courage, right? Vitality, because red is like a action color, right? That's your root chakra, your strength. It can also symbolize sexual energy. You put on some red heels and red lipstick, you already know. I mean, it's a trigger even for the male subconscious, because it's listen to me. I was telling you about how the subconscious speaks. It doesn't speak in words. So you can go ooh la la all you want to in somebody's face, but baby, you throw on that red lipstick, the red color on the woman's lips, just speaking with the divine feminine, divine masculine, it triggers something in the masculine for attraction. I don't know if you knew that, because it's speaking to the subconscious. It's not even speaking to the conscious mind. Okay. Red can also be motivation. Again, it's more like a fire fast energy. When you think about red, think about fire. You know what I'm saying? Survival. Red is not just love. Red is the blood current. It moves fast, it burns hot, and it wakes up fierce, right? Then we got the green candle. Oh yeah, everybody love that money. They love that money, that prosperity. But you can also do green for fertility. You could do green for healing, because guess what? Guess what's green? Your heart chakra. Your heart chakra area contains that green energy. And the heart chakra is one of the biggest chakras. It's all the way from the base of your diaphragm all the way up to the base of your throat. Right up under the throat chakra, right above the solar plexus, right? You can use it for healing. You can use green for employment, because, that's abundance. I could say that's abundance. Harmony. Or if you're doing some elemental magic, like plant magic or earth magic, you can use green, right? Because it's not, green is anything that must live, grow, or root, heal, and even multiply. So we got some other colors here that we're going to take a look at. What about gold? Ooh, how many gold ritual? You don't see too many gold ritual candles, but there are some out there. I'm talking, when I say ritual candles, I am specifically referring to the ones in the glass container, but we'll go over those candle types in one moment. Just hold your horses. Just hold your horses. So with the gold candle, it does represent success. Okay, gold finger, gold star, the solar power, like the sun, confidence, divine illumination, victory, right? If you want to bliss your home, you can use a gold candle. Or if you want to strengthen other workings, like as a back, as a dust, a gold dust off. Okay, is like I want to put it. You can use a gold candle, right? Because gold is a candle of radiance. Okay? It does not hide. It causes success to be visible. Right? Everybody got that gold rush. Now let's look at this purple candle. We already know what purple does. What's that? The crown chakra color. Psychic power, spiritual power, intuition. You can even use it for third eye work. You know, if you're trying to open up more hidden knowledge, you can use purple candle, right? If you want to honor like your ancestors or individual, purple in antiquity always was a royal color. It meant royalty, right? Even if you're doing higher magic, purple, because of the vibration that the purple has, being also your highest chakra, right? You can use it for high magic. Because purple is just not for your intuition. It does expand more, as I just explained. Purple is spiritual authority, the right to see, to know, to command, and to understand. Right. Let's move on to this blue candle. Now, blue, it can represent peace, communication, calmness. Oh, what about your dreams? You want to have, manifest some deeper dream or astral travel? Light you a blue candle and then drink you some blue lotus tea. Okay, tip. That was some tea there. Okay. It's also guidance, right? Also represents harmony in the home and also protection in the home. I just want to throw that in there because in our culture as indigenous people to this land, so you would find, especially in the deep south, you'll have your front porches and they are painted, or even the roof, the ceiling of the front porch is painted in a blue because the ancestors considered that to be protection, spiritual protection, right? And so that's how they brought it into their home. So blue cools the flame, right? Without weakening the work in itself. Very calming. All right. It teaches fire how to speak gently, right? Just like your throat chakra, speaking it out. Now the pink candle. Pink is love without force. Did you know that? It's passion, it's tenderness, it's sweetness. You can use a pink candle for self-love if you want to build that up within yourself. If you want to build a nurturing, loving relationship with you or anyone that you're trying to build a relationship, be a coworker or whatever, you can use a pink candle. Right? It is a candle of softness, a candle of healing, a candle of emotional safety. That's some ways you can use the pink candle. So I'm just going to give a couple other additional. I do want to say there is a long list on my website at aimsweet9.com. I'm going to put it in the description of the video. But on my website, there is an extensive link, and I have all of the colors, the candle colors, and the energies that goes along with those colors, including planet placements, herbs, oils, anything you can think of. You can find that knowledge for free on my website. Okay. But let's talk a little bit about some additional colors here. So we have an orange candle. Now, orange is like for attraction, creativity. If you want to bring your creative spark. Although it's not on here, because I've used orange for courage, right? Orange is a good color, for courage in itself. Or it says encouragement. So same thing. Ambition. If you want to make a step in your career, say if you're looking for a promotion or a different position, you can use an orange candle to bring on that energy, right? If you have business goals, you can use an orange candle because the orange sparks movement. It awakens your creativity, um, your attraction, your courage, and forward motion, right? Now let's look at a brown candle, right? Not so many people do a lot of works with the brown candle, but however, the brown candle is so powerful because it is a big marker or a symbol for grounding, right? It's for home, you know, material stability, um, practical matters. You know, it's a earth plane concern. If you are trying to do something, maybe if you want to, I don't know, grow a bigger garden, you could use a brown candle to put forth that energy, you know, because brown grounds the work, right? Say, for instance, you did a high ritual and you need to ground out that energy. Afterwards, you can light a brown candle to bring that energy to a grounding state. You know, it stabilizes the home. It anchors. It is practical matters in itself. All right, and it also strengthens that connection with you and the earth. And then we also have here the silver candle. We did a gold candle, so we got to do the silver one too, because this one actually brings a lot of moon energy. So even if you're doing a moon ritual on a full moon or even a new moon, you can use silver. You can use even actual silvers in your working. That also boosts the energy. But using a silver candle gives you helps with your intuition, your dreams, your psychic work, your inner visions, your feminine current. Did you know that? All right. It's like spiritual reflection. You can use it to reflect as well as just strengthen your spirituality in itself. So silver reflects the lunar current. The lunar, you know, it's the moon energy, right? It opens up the intuition even more. It facilitates in dream work. So the deeper you go into candle magic, the more you realize color is not just one dimensional. Every shade has a personality, a planet, a direction, a mood, and a spiritual current. All right, that's why we get into those colors like that. Now let's continue on in this journey as we go past, and let's talk about timing. When should I do my candle work? Right? Because the timing doesn't replace the intention, but the timing and strengthens the current in itself. When to do candle work. Now, before I go into all of the timing that I have on here, I want to make a disclaimer. I do want to say that you can do candle work whenever the hell you feel like it, right? You don't need to wait to do something. If you have something coming up that's important that you're trying to put into your universe and manifest, and you are 2 weeks away from the full moon and you need that before then, you can still do it. What this is saying here and suggesting is that using these other tools, okay, listen to me. These are other tools. The timing is like a stack upon, okay? It's not the whole deal. It's the oomph, right? So you can oomph it up on these moon cycles and days. So let's just go over it a little bit, right? So moon timing, the new moon to the full moon. You can use that energy for attraction, growth, increase, or calling in or building, right? The full moon to the new moon. So we're talking about the phase cycle. So you know when the moon cycles, right? And you always start with the new moon till you get to the full moon. So I'm talking about that phase. So just to be more correct, that way you can understand what I'm saying. And then you have the full moon when it peaks here in the middle, right? And then it goes into a new moon cycle. So this is the other side of that cycle. So you can use that energy if you want to release, if you want to banish or break habits, remove things from your house, from yourself, excuse me, not house, but yourself or your house, or do any type of uncrossing. That's a good time to be able to do it. It's just going to give you, like I said, that extra oomph, right? So I believe before the new moon to full moon is called waxing, and the waning moon is from the full moon to the new moon again, right? And then you have the dark moon. What is the dark moon, goddess? What do you mean by that? That's when you look up and you don't see no damn moon. You're like, where the moon go? We're on vacation. It's gone. It ain't gone. They just forgot to turn the light on. Now they cut it off because the battery recharging, right? However, I'm being silly but serious at the same time. However, the dark moon in itself is for advanced work. You can use that energy to do some advanced work, shadow work, right? It's not ideal for beginners unless they know exactly what they're doing, because it's some actual powerful energy there. Little did you know. Now you do. Okay. And the planetary days adds rhythm to it. So let's look at the planetary days right quick. All right. Sunday, doing works on Sunday, you have success, confidence, vitality, visibility. Mondays, it's my manifesting magical Mondays, is what I call it. That is a moon day, right? Monday, right? Intuition, dreams, cleansing, emotional work, right? Because your emotions, with the moon, your emotions are connected to the moon, you know. Tuesday, Mars. That's like war day. Did you know that? But also, you can turn it into where you have courage, protection, force, even strength on that day. Wednesday, wonderful, whimsical Wednesday. Hey, Mercury day. You know, Mercury is the planet of communication, right? So if you're trying to communicate better and you pull out that orange candle, right? And you're burning it on this Wednesday because you're trying to communicate to your job that you want a raise, right? I'm just kind of threw that out there, but just showing you how you can correlate, put that together, right? My intentions is to ask the job for a raise. Well, let me do this. I need some courage. So you're gonna light that orange candle. Well, I want to communicate this to them. So Wednesday, because it's Mercury day. It's the planet of communication. So that's how that will work out, right? You have Thursday. That's Jupiter day. You know, that's for expansion, prosperity, luck, legal matters, and your business. A good day, I suggest a good day to do money workings is on Thursday, which is Jupiter day, because money and expansion. And also on Monday. Monday is a great day for abundance as well. And then we have Friday, right? Friday is the day of love. That's Happy Love Day. That's free flowing Friday. You know, you got Venus, you have all the goddesses of love on that day, you know, Azul, Oshun. You know, those are a beautiful day for love, for beauty, for harmony, or just attracting periods. You can use Friday for that. And then we have Saturn Day. I came in, I incarnated on a Saturday. You know what a Saturday is? Saturn brings that slow burn energy. That energy that comes in and is very intentional, and it so quiet but yet impactful at the same time. Boom. Okay. So on Saturday, Saturn Day, you could do some banishing work. You could set boundaries on that day. You can create discipline within yourself on that day because Saturn is absolutely the planet of discipline. Also protection, right? And Saturn will finalize things. So you can use it for if you're trying to end something in itself. So timing is not superstition. Timing is rhythm. You are choosing whether to work with the current of increase, release, speed, discipline, love, protection, and expansion, right? All right. So now that we know the colors, the timing, now we need to know what candle to choose. Did y'all know it was many different types of candles out there? All right. So we are going to get to it and we're going to show you the candle type. All right. All right. So this is the 7-day ritual candle, right? Also called the visual candle. This is most popular. That's why I kind of set it here by itself. It's the most popular candle when doing rituals for a few reasons, right? It's ideal for longer work. The thick glass allows you to have the candle to run unattended. Not suggested. Please, disclaimer, I am so not telling you to burn down your damn house. Please listen to me. That's not what it's about. However, it does offer some safer protection if you're doing a longer work and you want the work to see the work go all the way through and need it to burn for some days. Boom, there you have it. But some workings that you do and rituals that you do and spells need that time. It needs to gather that energy within the universe that's working behind the scenes, right? It's needed. It can't just manifest like that. Some things need that time, right? So, like I said, it's ideal for long workings. It's excellent for protection, healing, road opening, prosperity, and even devotional work. The glass contain. Oh, hold on. I didn't mean to do that. I didn't even know I could switch that button and do that. Okay, y'all learned something new. Okay. All right. So the glass container supports it protects the burn. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought over here moving screens. It protects the burn, right? It's easy to observe when you're in this glass candle. You can observe the wax, the soot, and the residue after the burn. And that's important because after before we end this episode, I will come back and be talking to you all about reading the candle, because that's not your ritual doesn't stop soon as you light it. You know, it has a story to tell after it. And I want to double back for a minute. I just thought about something I just said, right? I did say it's easy to observe, but I just want to add this little tip in when you're doing rituals. I know we talked about rituals, our episode 9, the truth about rituals. I believe I mentioned it in there. When you do a ritual, especially even a candle ritual, you don't sit there and watch it like this. You don't do that. You don't watch the progress. You let it go and allow the workings behind the scenes to happen. Because when you start watching the timing and obsessing over it, you are diminishing the energy that you put behind it initially. Because doing that is saying, subconsciously, that's a symbol. It's saying, I need to put my eyes and watch this because I don't even really believe that it's going to work. I really don't have that full trust that my power and my energy is strong enough to make it work. So I'm going to watch it. That's what that's saying. You don't sit there and watch it. You let it go. Of course, you can put it in a place that's maybe unattended but safe. But I would suggest let it go. Don't sit there and keep your eye on it. Don't do that. Right? Because you fuck up the energy like that. All right. So the glass visual candle, it does hold intention over multiple days, like I said. It's commonly used for altar maintenance and spiritual watches. The visual candle is not just a candle. It is a spiritual watchtower. It keeps the petition standing after your mouth has gone quiet. Right? That's powerful. Let's look into some other candles. All right. So some other types we have here is like the chime candle. So the chime candle, although it's depicted here a little bit bigger, they're smaller, about 4 inches. It's for quick workings. You know, if you have a one sitting ritual, say if you're doing like a group ritual and you need it, because they usually burn about an hour to an hour and a half, right? If you're doing some daily spell work, right? If you've done, I did a ritual some time back, like with Conjure Queen, and we did the honey jar ritual. And with the honey jar ritual, it's a badass ritual too. We're gonna have to we're gonna have, before the end of this series, I just want to give y'all a clue. At the end of this series, we're gonna have an episode, and I'm gonna run down. I have gathered over the years, even especially for Bobby Hemmed, Brother Yosef, Brother Panic. I wrote down and got all of these rituals together. We are gonna share some rituals. Okay, I had to put that out. We're gonna have a ritual day. But anyway, so if you're doing a daily ritual, so just to explain, with the honey pot ritual, the honey jar ritual, after the ritual is done, to continue to bring on that sweet life, you would take a white chime candle and you would burn it right on top of that jar. And that was a daily thing. You know, optional. It's up to you, but I'm just giving you an example. So, and it's also chime candles are also good for focused attention in itself. Now let's look at tea lights. Now tea lights, you know, they burn quick too, you know. But they're usually for like simple, accessible rituals, right? Say for instance, you're traveling, you got a travel altar. That's a perfect thing. And you want to do some work and you're out somewhere traveling across the country, out of the country. Tea lights are perfect for that. They're also beginner friendly, right? It's safe. It's in that container. It's not going to pop out. It's flame focused is what I call it, because you got more flame than the candle. So you can also do some flame work and watch the flame work. So we're going to allow Goddess Southern to talk to you about fire, right? She may go over something like that. Also for quick meditation. So say, for instance, you want to meditate on something. You select your tea light, which does come in different colors. And your meditation session may be about an hour long. That's about as long as that candle burns, right? You can use it for that. Then we have the taper candles. Those are the long ones, right? Now, those are good for attraction and release work, right? For upward and downward dressing. It's also for directional movement. If you're trying to, depict a way something is moving, you can use a taper candle, right? And they also all elegant. Oh, I cannot. What is going on? And elegant altar rituals, right? You can be fancy and whatnot. You put that on your altar and whatnot. You better watch that motherfucker though, because some candles you want to pay attention to others because you don't want to mess. But anyway, different candles form different candle forms carry different functions. Basically, choose the candle that matches your structure, time, purpose of your working. So we got a couple more little candles here because and then we want to talk about. So we got the reverse candle. Is anybody aware of the reverse candle? Have you ever used a reverse candle? I have. If you're feeling like, oh, some stuck energy, if you feeling like you just on this string of unfortunate happenings, unfortunate events, or whatever. I don't want to use the word bad luck and all that. It's no such thing, and that aspect is bad. But it could be, your pendulum that's swinging in your life could be more on the darker side of things for the moment, right? But for sure enough, if you look at the Kabbalion, it's a book that we're going to be mentioning multiple times. It's a great guide. The pendulum will swing back to the positive. However, that's of course if you're not staying in that lower energy, right? But a reverse candle is a good way to, if you want to reverse that energy, if you want to reverse the action that's happening there. It removes interference first. So if you want to do a deep ritual, right, or deep candle working, and you want to remove any type of energy you may feel might interfere with that, I will do a reverse candle first, right? It helps stop loss or negativity, right? So if you're in the process of losing things, you can do a reverse candle, stop that energy. If you have negativity hanging around you, do a reverse candle. It also activates the desired result, right? Again, because it's subconscious, right? It's going to activate that desired result. Some candles remove the obstacle first, then activate the blessing that you have. And that is one with the double action candle. Then we have the 7-knot candle. Anybody ever used a 7-knot candle? I haven't done that particular candle workings, but for those out there who do, who have and would like to, let's learn a little bit about it. So the 7-day knot candle, it has focused 7-day work, right? Because of course you would burn this for 7 days, of course on a fire safe dish. All right. Disclaimer. It removes blocks layer by layer. You can also do chakra work. They don't always come in rainbows. I believe it comes in other colors and things, solid colors and things like that. So just keep that in mind. They're good for uncrossing or releasing. A 7-knot candle is also good for, it supports discipline and repetition, right? So this candle teaches sequence, discipline, and working in stages. Now let's look at the violet. I always pronounce this wrong. So you got it. This candle. This is the smaller glass candle, basically. Usually about 4 to 2 inches tall, right? It's in a glass working. And this is a medium working candle, right? A medium length, right? Because it's not that big. I said about 4 inches all the way down to 2 inches, usually this candle. All right. You can use it for devotional altar work, right? For healing, a healing pace, healing, excuse me, for peace, for gratitude, and also more time. It gives you a little bit more time than like a chime candle. So, say for instance, if, like I said, chime candle is like an hour to an hour and a half. If you want a 3 hour working, you would get maybe like a 4 inch votive candle. Okay. So choose the candle again that matches your structure, rhythm, and phase of work. And so the last candle we have here are the figural candles. Yay! And this particular figural candle is handmade and painted by our very own Southern Goddess, which can be purchased on her website. I left the information on there at 7 Universe. Boop. But what figurative candles do, they are symbolic. They're symbolic embodiment, right? It represents the figure, the archetype, or the spiritual current, right? They're useful for peaceful healing, meditation, devotion, focus, right? They're excellent for your altar display and petition work. Your petition a particular deity, or there's plenty. And look on Goddess website. I mean, she has the third eye cat. There's some Goddess. I believe there's some Goddess. You here? Goddess, you on here? You want to tell about your candles?
Yes, I'm back here blushing and shit. Okay. I got a plethora of candles, family. Okay. When y'all see my slides, you see I got a couple of them on there. So, this got me blushing. But yeah, this is my self-mastery Buddha candle. Okay. I got the divine feminine cat candle coming all colors, depending on what chakra you want to work with. Okay, I got some serpent candles. I got some Gaia candles. I got it all, baby. I got it all. I wasn't expecting sis to put my website up here, so this is beautiful. Yes, check it out. Check it out.
Well, can you tell the people just briefly here what the Buddha candle would do, or the self mastery candle? Since we're talking about the figural candles.
Yes. So, like I said, each color represents your chakras. So, whatever chakra that you are focusing on, you want to master that energy center. It is you. You're mastering self. So your yellow will be your self-mastery self of your solar plex. The red is the self-mastery of your root chakra. I like to say root chakra. Let me go on and move on. Your crown is the self-mastery of, where the purple is the self-mastery of your crown chakra. You can use it for your third eye, mastery as well. But I also have a separate candle, the all seeing eye candle. And this is basically a focal point for you to just focus on self and master self. Tap into you, tap into that God self in you. These candles is going to challenge you to actually look at you. Okay. What areas where you are lacking so that you can master self. It's not to harm you, but to elevate you into your more God higher power. So gratitude, Sis Star. I'm going to get backstage. I'll be up next.
All right. Okay. All right. So, Goddess beautifully explained her candles here. And again, just always keep in mind that with the figurative candles themselves, the form itself strengthens the meaning of the ritual, right? Because you are then, remember I said, this is subconscious. Your subconscious sees that shape, that symbol, right? It's very, and the color, all of those things stack upon it, right? But the figural candles are very important for specific works that you're doing, right? It gives the ritual the body. The image itself becomes part of the intentions. So let's go ahead and talk about the size. All right, the practical rules. Size must match the working, right? So not a quick intention doesn't always need a 7-day candle, right? So if you're trying to do a quick turnaround and all you got is a 7-day candle, I mean, you're gonna dry that thing out. You know, it's really a no-brainer, right? Right. A major protection working may need something longer than the tea candle. So if you're trying to do some heavy work or look some protection, it has to gain that momentum, that energy. You know what I'm saying? And so burning a tea light may not be adequate. It's just maybe too quick for it, for what you're trying to do. It's not going to hold the energy that you're looking to do, right? A candle you must watch carefully should match your time and safety capability, right? So bigger does not always mean stronger, right? So if you use a longer candle for longer sustained rituals, but because you have a large, super large candle, because they sell like the visual candles and it's a 3-wick candle, that don't mean you're gonna get that much more power. That's not what they mean. So just keep in mind about that. But also match up your size with your intentions with your working. And this is all decided at the very beginning when you're doing your intentions in itself. Right. And the strength of the candle work, it comes from the clarity, it comes from your focus and correct correspondence, not the size, right? Not the size. So do not choose the biggest candle to look powerful. Choose the candle that matches the structure of your work in itself. So we're going to briefly go over here a little bit of safety, and this is going to be really brief because our Southern Goddess is going to cover fire in depth, right? So I just wanted to just give a little warning here. Don't overload your candle, right? You're going to cause a fire. It's going to be a problem. Don't overload it because you overdoing it too. You overloading your subconscious, to be honest. You want to keep it simple. Clear intentions. If you clearly make an intention to do the working, you pick your candle, you pick your one herb, you pick your one oil, and you pick maybe one crystal, right? That's some very clear intention to your subconscious. It's like, okay, we got A, B, C, and D. But if you sit up here and add all the way to K, it's going to be like, what the fuck is going on? It's too much. It's too much, right? Also be mindful of like broken glass, the candles, and the being too hot. What if your flame, because this has happened even in the visual candles. I noticed I look on my altar and the flame, the wick is kind of to the side of the glass. So if I touch the glass and the glass is hot, I then gently take a stick or usually I keep chopsticks on deck. So, and I just move since the wax is soft, I just move the wick in the middle just to give me a safe burn. I don't want any broken glass. You don't want any candles explode. In actuality, now, also, I do have on my website, the how to read a candle. And it does tell us that that can also signify some powerful energy coming in. Now, don't look for that. Now, that's not something I want you to be like, oh, my glass is breaking around here. You have to discern why that glass broke. Did it break because it's some powerful energy just smacked in? Or did it break because you got it overloaded? Or did it break because the flame not blowing is not burning correctly? Right? Don't just come up with some stuff to try to appear and make yourself feel more, you know, well connected. You may be well connected, but just assess how is that happening. Another thing to be mindful of is an unstable holder, or if you're using a taper candle, or even using a burn plate, making sure that candle is upright, making sure it's not, wobbly or weak. And also your protective plate itself. Make sure you use a fireplace. I prefer a ceramic fire safe dish. You can also use metal. That might get a little hot though, so be mindful of the metal you're using. But typically a ceramic saucer is a perfect holder for a standalone candle, like a chime candle or a pillar candle, and you want to do working, and you want to dress it up and dress around the plate. That's fine. Make sure it's there, because or else you're going to cause a flame on your altar. So spiritual fire still obeys physical law, y'all. It's spiritual fire, but it's still going to obey the physical law of burning up if it ain't right. Okay. So respect the flame in both realms. So now I am going to turn this over to the goddess Southern, because she's going to go ahead and bring on the language of fire here. And so I just want to close out with this, because once the candle is chosen, the next step is to prepare it. Color chooses the current. Timing chooses the rhythm. The candle type chooses the structure. But the petition, dressing, and charging tells the candle exactly what to do. So now that we understand how to choose the candle, the color, timing, and form, how to wake it up, how to dress it, how to speak to it, how to charge it with command. Now we're going to learn about this fire. And I'll be right back after the goddess to talk about the candle speaking after the burn. Peace, y'all. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. Hey, y'all. Hey, Mystics. Did y'all meet me? All right. Did y'all meet me? Okay. I was in the back loving it, blushing. Just want to say my sisters gave a beautiful, beautiful, segment on each of their portions of this segment this evening. So you will hear me reiterate some of the things that they have said already. If you did, so what? You need to hear it again. Okay, so we are going to get into the spirit of fire, petitions, dressing, and charging the candle. Okay, why is fire sacred? The flame becomes a living symbol of transformation, carrying our focused intention through the ritual. So, this is where manifestation begins with inner change before it appears in the outer world. Okay. And I don't know if you've ever done any candle rituals as the flame is going and you're in the moment and you're feeling it. You actually have your focus solely on your actual ritual. You can actually feel the transformation from within. I've had that happen several times. Beautiful feeling. Okay. Where the candle is a symbolic vessel, while focus and intention remains central to the practice. In candle magic, we don't worship the flame, Remember, Goddess Sister Indigo talked about the difference between worship and everything in our last episode. We don't worship. Now, if you worship, and it should be just yourself, like Sister had said. Okay. Fire in countless cultures is viewed as more than physical force. It is a bridge between the spiritual and physical, the seen and unseen. It is one of humanity's oldest sacred companions. Okay. So, like I was saying in my opening, our ancestors used it to warm themselves, cook their food, illuminated the darkness, purified diseases, protected the village. Tools have been forged from fire, transform raw materials into entirely new things. Everything fire touches, it changes or transforms. And I do love that Sister put in there about the fire safety. That is very, very important. Okay, when your girl be creating her candles, there was some trials and errors there. And I use my own shit too. I use my own shit to ensure that it's fire safety. So that was some beautiful knowledge on that. Fire is very, very powerful. So when you're conducting your candle magic, be sure that you are conducting some safe fire safety. I just want to just reiterate that over and over again. Okay. So we're going to get into writing a clear petition. Petition. Okay, I'm a country ass girl, but let's keep it going. All right. Now that we've honored the elements, we now give it direction. A candle without intention is simply burning wax, like Sister Mystic Light has said earlier in her segment. A candle with intention becomes a ritual. Your petition is the blueprint of your magic. This is you giving the universe clear instructions, like my sisters had both discussed. One of the biggest mistakes when we are doing this is writing vague petitions. Okay. What I mean by vague, okay, say like you want to get a new job. You just write now, I want a new job. Okay, you didn't specify where. You didn't specify, how many miles you're willing to drive. You didn't specify, what the pay would look like. You didn't, you got to actually specify exactly in your petition exactly what it is that you are manifesting. And by the way, this right here, when I mentioned my all-seeing eye candle, this is my all-seeing eye candle, by the way. Okay, powerful petitions follow 3 simple guidelines. 1, intention, clear language, no contradictions. Okay, so focus on one thing at a time. If you got so much that you want to manifest, like Sister was saying, even with you overdoing it with the herbs, you gonna confuse the subconscious mind, and you're gonna be like, girl, which one you want? Like, pick one. Okay, one thing at a time. All right, one thing at a time. I encourage you to focus on one intention, desire. This gives your flame one direction for your one purpose. Okay. Now, speaking in the present tense, that's very, very important. Okay, you got to walk, talk, feel, embody like you already possessed it. Okay. Your words become part of the ritual. Language shapes your attention, and attention shapes your behavior. Speak as if you already have it, or if it already happened. Feel as if it's actually happened. Move as if it's already happened. This reinforces clarity, confidence, and sustains your focus during the ritual. Aligns your mind and attention with the work that's being performed. For example, instead of say, I hope I become successful, no, I am successful, or I hope my business be successful. No, I have a successful business, or I'm building a successful business. I want protection. No, I am protected. I wish for abundance. No, baby, I welcome abundance. I am abundance, okay? Fire does not question what it is consuming. It is simply transforming whatever you are instructing it to do. A clear intention, spoken with purpose, and supported by constant action becomes the beginning of transformation from within. Remember how I said you can definitely feel the transformation from within, especially when you're deeply focused into your actual ritual. Now we are going to get into using some oils and some herbs. Okay, let's get into it. They are not just decoratives. Well, I want to say that one more time because I know y'all be want to dress it up and make it look pretty. They're not just decoratives. You have intention in what herbs that you're using, just like Sister Indigo just said. Okay, oils is the carrier. It helps bind your intention to the candle before the flame activates it. The oil becomes the bridge between your hands, your intention, and the wax. And I'll talk about why that is later on when we talk about the dressing of the candle. Okay. It helps bind your intention to the candle before the flame activates it. Just remember that portion there. So it's a carrier. The oil should match your purpose and intention. Don't use random oils just because they smell good. Every ingredient should agree with the petition. Okay. For attraction, prosperity, love, success, or growth, use oils with the energy of drawing in. Okay. So that will be, I don't know, cinnamon oil is one. Um, there's several other oils. I should have put some on here, but I did not. I got so excited to do this. Okay. But we're going to continue to move on because cinnamon is actually one of the many herbs or oils that you can use when you are doing your candle magic. Okay. For release, cord cutting, banishing, or clearing, use oils with energy of moving away. Okay. So, a oil that I use that because I always use what I have and it works very good for me, and that's peppermint oil. Okay, examples for a protection ritual candle. Here we go. I use oils that resonate with protection. Again, peppermint is one. For money rituals, I use cinnamon or orange. Orange gives you that robust boost of confidence, that boost. It helps boost the cinnamon if you're using cinnamon. Okay. For self-love rituals, I love to use rose, jasmine, or lavender. Jasmine and lavender are like my two favorites. Okay. For the oibs portion here. Oibs are the living correspondences. Each oib carries its own language. You choose them the way you choose your words carefully, okay? Ask yourself these questions when you are choosing your herbs. What is this herb known for? Does it match my intention? Does it support or confuse my intentions? I would say, giving a recommendation, because when I start my rituals, I always listen to my God self. She's going to tell me what herbs and this, that, and the third to use. And I always like to go back and re-fact check myself. Okay, so why did me tell me to use this herb? And I end up figuring out and understanding or overstanding that this is an actual herb that's matching the intention. So I do recommend getting some herbal understandings of what herbs that you are utilizing. Okay. For example, rosemary can support protection, cleansing, and mental clarity. Basil can support prosperity, success, and abundance. Lavender supports peace, healing, calmness, and spiritual clarity. Cinnamon supports attraction, speed, success, passion, and it resonates with the element of fire itself. Okay. So if you actually use some cinnamon oil on your candle, don't be surprised. It's a little spicy. I don't recommend you put too much. Don't put too much oil on there too. That candle it's not gonna like. You may hear the wick go crackling and carrying on, but it's gonna burn. You don't want to put too much of anything. Don't overdo it. Okay. You don't need too many herbs. It can muddy your message. Again, you don't want to confuse or muddy the subconscious mind, as well as not overload your candle with oils and herbs because you want your message to be clear, as well to ensure that you are conducting fire safety. Okay, we're going to keep it going with the fire safety. Okay, that is very important. Ensure fire safety. Candle may be difficult to burn afterwards if you have done that. If you see that, oh man, I overdid it, you can readjust your candle. This is your magic. Try to adjust your candles based off of removing some of the herbs, or releasing some of that oil. I've done this. Actually, I would have like a 7-day candle, and I have some oil that I like to drop into the top, and I'm like, damn, I put a little too much oil. I just go on and actually get as much as that oil out so the burn can burn smooth. Okay, your oils give the candle direction. Your herbs gives your candle language. Your intention gives your candle a command. Okay. Now we are at the dressing of your candle, okay? And there are 2 ways that you can dress your candle. You can do that in an upward movement or a downward movement. So let's discuss the difference between the 2. Okay, upward angle, the candle becomes a magnet. The movement says closer, nearer, enter into my space. Okay, this upward motion symbolizes energy rising and drawing your intention towards you. Okay, the movement of your hands mirrors the movement you desire in your life for your intention to flow back into the universe. How you want this working to work, you want it to flow to you when you're moving up. Okay, your energetic saying, come to me, giving the command. Okay. This direction is commonly used for these types of intentions: love, prosperity, opportunities. If you own a business, new clients, the growth of your business, success, favor, confidence, creativity, and spiritual wisdom. Okay. Now the downward angle. Okay. As you move downward, imagine the energy flowing away from you, carrying the burden with it. Not every ritual is about gaining. Sometimes you got to clear that thing out. If you're trying to, let me not say trying, because we don't ever try, we do. Okay, if you're manifesting more, you got to understand, you got to be able to release what no longer serves first, so that you can make room for more to come. It is very important that you do both of them. They're very, very important movements in your ritual. Okay, some rituals are about letting go. This movement says, send this away, clear this, remove what no longer serves me. You do need to clear away things in order to make room for anything new to come in, which is why it's important to conduct a balance of both rituals. When you dress the candle in the downward motion, the ritual becomes an intentional act of releasing. Okay. I want to also add in here, if you're doing this to release some mental fog, or you're letting something go that's internal, that that this energetic energy is not bringing me this internal happiness, I got to let this go. Once you do this ritual, don't bring it back up. Don't bring it back up. You've already released it. Okay, it's flowing, it's moving. Okay, this direction is commonly used for intentions such as releasing fear, ending unhealthy attachments, breaking old habits, clearing stagnant energy, emotional healing, protection after conflict, closing difficult chapters, and banishing unwanted influences. You are energetically saying, leave my life. Okay. Neither movement is stronger than the other. Each reflect the intention and purpose needed at that moment. Therefore, your movement should agree with your intentions. When your hands, words, petition, excuse me, y'all, and visualization all point in the same direction, the ritual becomes more coherent and focused. Okay, we're gonna move on to slide 55. Okay, it's not 55 but 5. I just wanted to sing a little song. Okay. And I also wanted to say, when you do your petition, depending on what you're writing it on, because it has been moments where I have paper that's like thick as crap, and I want to fold my paper. And if you're folding your paper and you are doing a ritual where you're gaining something or you're attracting something, you fold the paper towards you. Okay. If you're doing a banishing or a releasing, you fold the paper away from you. Everything is intentional. I'm telling you, your magic is what you make it. Okay. Now, prayer and visualization. This is where your ritual has a voice. It's not about using perfect words, but about speaking with clarity, sincerity, and intention. Prayer is your conversation with the divine, your God self, your ancestors, your spirit guides, or you just tapping deep within your own consciousness. When you pray, you organize your thoughts around a single purpose. Instead of scattering your attention across many desires, prayer gathers it into one clear direction. The candle becomes the physical focus that intention needs to have. Okay. Visualization. The mind naturally thinks in pictures. We talked about how the subconscious mind speaks in signs and symbols and synchronicities and everything. So that's very important. Visualization is the practice of mentally experiencing the outcome you want. Rather than dwelling on the problem, you intentionally place your attention on the result you are manifesting. Remember how I said you have to embody that it has already happened. You already possess what it is that you are manifesting. By the way, how y'all like my image up there? Me and Chat was going through it, but did the best I could. She looked a little masculine, but I guess I want to show my masculine side. I'm gonna say this is the army version of myself here. It's a picture of me, but we gonna keep it going. She just looked a little strong.
I love it. It's fine. It's fine. It's strength in her workings. Okay, it's strength in her workings. Okay, I see it. I see it.
Okay, thank you, sister. Thank you. The masculine side will be considered the fire side anyway. So here we go. I'm talking about damn fire. All right, moving on. I love to be goofy, guys. I love to be goofy. Okay, if your petition is peace, visualize yourself engulfed in a calming mind, and within that calming mind, visualize the environment being a peaceful environment. You know, if it's opportunity, visualize yourself stepping into that new opportunity. Okay. How does it look, as well as how does it make you feel? Remember, we are embodying the emotions of our manifestations. So when you're, embodying that you already have it, also feel it. What does it feel like? Not only what it looks like, but what does it feel like? The image becomes a reminder of the direction you want your thoughts and your actions to follow. Remember, I asked, how does your visualizations feel? Well, emotion is the bridge. Words without emotions are just simply that, words. I don't know if y'all remember in the 90s, I got cousins older than me, and they always used to say, word, word. And my grandma would be like, why the hell you keep saying that? Is that they ain't trying to hear what you're saying right now because it's just words to them. Okay. Images without emotion quickly fades. Your emotion also helps to anchor your ritual. Your where prayer and visualization and genuine emotion come together, the ritual becomes powerful, meaningful. You're not asking for change, but you're embodying the mindset of that change. You are the magic. Okay? You are the magic, beautiful mystic ones. Okay? Prayer isn't about reciting elaborate speeches. Okay? I get some of us, we get a little tongue tied. We might not know a lot of big words. Speak from your heart chakra. Speak where you feel you are most authentic and truly feel it. Visualization isn't about creating cinematic movie scenes. Okay, they both invite you to embrace and embody your intention fully. We're gonna slippity slide over here. We are now on slide 6. We're talking about breath charging and commanding with authority. Okay, breath is the first gift of life. Across many spiritual traditions, your breath is represented as the life force, spirit, conscious presence. When you breathe towards your candle with intention, you create a deliberate movement of focus before the flame carries your petition forward. Your breath marks the transition from preparation to action. Okay. Charging it with your breath is the act of concentrating your attention, your words, and your intention into symbolic movement. Into a symbolic moment, excuse me. Before I ignite the flame of a candle, and this is me, everyone does their magic how they does it, So before I even ignite the flame, I always, before I even dress it up, I love to cleanse my candles, especially if I bought them somewhere. I want to knock off anybody else's energy. These candles are mine, so they should have my energy on it. So, I cleanse it off, whether it's with some stormy water or I'm doing a smoke cleanse, but I also charge my candle with my breath, and I'll hold it in my hands and I blow my breath into my candles, and I do that. I do speak to the candle as the flame ignite, but this portion here, I don't want to blow out my flame because then I blow out the magic. Okay, so that's something that I like to do. That could be a tip for you if you're interested in that. It's a guide. Okay. Saying your petition and prayer is another form of charging your candle with your breath, because your breath hits the actual flame. I don't know if you ever spoke over your candle. You see the flame get to doing this right here, doing the dance and stuff like that, but it's hearing you. That flame is hearing you. You're charging that flame. You're charging that candle. Be sure not to blow it out, like I said, because you don't want to blow out your magic. However, your breath is also charging the flame, giving it that direction, whatever your intention is. Okay, whether you're gaining or releasing. Your breath represents your conscious commitment to the intention you've been cultivating throughout your ritual. Now, commanding with authority. You are a sovereign being. Therefore, authority is certainty. Again, remember how I said move like you already have it. Move like it already has happened. Okay. When you're speaking your petition, speak with boldness, not doubt nor fear. You get to speaking with boldness, your candle, your flame and all that. I was like, oh, she knows what she talking about. Oh, she knows what she wants. Now, if you get out there doubting and fearing, like, Sister Indigo was saying, if you sit there and watch, because as she was talking, I was like, yeah, you don't trust your magic. You get there doubting and fearing. You doubting and fearing self. Okay. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Right. Okay. So don't doubt yourself, sovereign beings, sovereign mystics, okay? Speak with conviction and personal responsibility. Instead of speak as someone waiting to become, speak as someone whom already became. Your words should reflect confidence, clarity, and accountability. Okay? Your voice shapes your focus. You're not speaking as if you're convincing the universe, but you're reinforcing the universe with sovereign authority. Then ensure to embody that authority, sovereign being. Release the need to constantly doubt or question, but trust in your magic. Continue to live in alignment with the intention you've set. Allow your universe to do his or her thing and move on about your life. Again, this goes back to what Sister was saying. Don't sit there and watch and be like, I got to make sure that. No, let it do its thing. Like, that's it. Let it do its thing. Every now and then you come check on it, make sure it's burning good, make sure, you're conducting fire safety, but leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Once your ritual is incomplete, it is over. Let your magic do what you have commanded it to do. Your breath awakens the ritual. Your voice gives it direction. Your conviction gives it strength. When intention, word, and action move in unison, transformation begins within you. Okay, that is my last slide, but I do have a reference slide. And I love that Sister talked about the moons, because I do have a book here on moon spells, moon magic. But I'm going to go from the center left to right because we were talking about candle magic. So the book in the center here, Madame, she is solely talking about candle magic. She breaks down the different types of candles, like Sister Indigo did, sharing the taper candles, the chime candles, the figurine candles, the candles that's cased in glass, all types of candles. She also go over how to read these candles once the wax is burned. Yes, that includes the figurine candles. You get to see the wax and how it's burning and everything. By the way, I mentioned that I had some of my candles on the slide. As you saw, my all-seeing eye candle throughout the slide. These are some more candles that I actually have on my website too. Here at the top left, pyramids are calling. This is my red one, working on the root chakra here. Then this candle right here in the middle of it is one of my dragon tail candles. Then the one below it is one of my serpent candles. This is serpent energy 2. Now, if we mosey on to the right on the same level, the next one that you see at the bottom right will be serpent energy 1 with the serpent coiled up. I love it because it's the serpent coiled up right before it starts to unravel. And then serpent energy 2 is the serpent unraveling, giving you that kundalini experience. That's what these candles are for, working with kundalini magic. Above the one on the right, at the bottom right in the middle, is my palmistry guidebook candle. And then when Sis started mentioning about the cat candle and myself, my divine feminine, this is one of them. This is the pink one. You can use it to honor the goddess Sekhmet or Basset. The pink will represent your heart chakra. So this is one of them as well. So Madame in the book of Candle Magic, she dives deep in all kinds of candles, how to read the wax. And it's a good book. I keep the book on me all the time. Each of these books aren't books that I read and put down. They're very good guidebooks. Now, let's go off to the left to the spell crafting, excuse me. Now, it talks about how you craft your own ritual, make your ritual your own. When Sister said, learn the basics. Once you learn the basics, you will, make it your own. She taps on candle magic, but she also talks about other things, far as crafting your rituals. Some people like to make the circles and the squares, and what I mean by that is when they're casting the spell, they'll open the circle. Well, create the circle so that you have a sacred space and everything. And then she properly teaches you how to close that circle. Also, when you have that circle created, the energy within that circle is very powerful. So she also talks about how to send that energy up, how to ground it. So many different types of spell crafting things here that you can learn from this book for yourself. Now let's mosey on to our far right. This is about moon magic. Sistar touched on this very beautifully. She talks about the different phases of the moon. Okay, so this author here, she dives deep on the different phases of the moon. What type of rituals can you conduct on each phase of the moon? A lot of people, I want to say, I do feel some, because there are people out here who doing the work. I do feel that there are some people who think that, oh, I'm just supposed to do a ritual on the full moon. No, you can actually do rituals like Sister Indigo said on all of the moon phases, but just understand what each phase represents. Okay, like Sister saying, the waxing is when the moon is increasing. Okay, so when you're dressing the candle and you're working on the waxing moon, which is the progression from the new moon to the full, you will address that candle going upward. Okay, waning, the moon is decreasing from full to new. You will be dressing it downward. So I love this book simply basically for that. And she dives deep into the different phases of the moon. These are some good books that I truly recommend you tap into. And happy candle magic, family. That's all Goddess Southern has. I'm gonna go ahead and get my cell phone off this screen. My
Well,
sister.
don't leave just yet. How long? I do got one last part. I do want
Oh
to
no, I'm not going nowhere, sis. I'm just moving my slides off the screen.
Oh, because I was gonna say, wait a minute.
Oh
No,
no, I
wait.
ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna take up just a little bit more of your time, just not a whole lot though. I just want to briefly talk about when the candle speaks. This is after the burning.
Ooh.
After the burning. So I'm gonna come on with these quick little 4 slides, just 4 of them. Okay. So we're not but I think it's important to have all of the information, all of the knowledge that's needed. We don't want to just give you some of it and then you like, well, what the fuck is the rest? You know what I'm saying? Who does that? So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen right quick. All right. Okay, y'all. So let's talk a little bit what happens after the flame goes out. Right?
Is it on stage, sis?
So is it on? Do y'all see it?
No, you don't have it on stage.
Hmm.
Dun 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 dun. Here's the story.
Is it there? Oh, you know what? That was there you go. Okay,
Backstage.
yeah, come on stage for a minute just so I can show the screen. I'll just go full on here. That way y'all can see it. So I want you to pay close attention here. All right. So, okay, yeah. Reading the flame. So we're gonna start with that. I know Sister Goddess Southern talked about the flame itself. So a large flame indicates very strong energy happening in your work, active intention. You're getting spiritual support. So be mindful of that. A short flame could represent, or something that keeps going out. It could represent blockages. Or any type of resistance or something needing more work. Okay. So just be mindful of that as well. And then you have your dancing flame. I know you've seen the dancing flame before. You know, that is some great energy. That is a shift happening, movement. You're getting a spiritual response. I know when I speak to my ancestors on the altar and the flame dancing, and then I get to talking, I mean, that flame get to moving. You think it's pop locking and dropping, okay? But that's just activity because my altar is very active. You know, that's just activity from my ancestors, okay? And that connection I have with the spiritual world. So let's just go ahead and go into the reading the wax because this is the end. This is the important part. And you want to know what actually happens, you know, after the candle burns down. So if you're looking at, if you have a pillar candle, say for instance, and you did the working, what you're going to look at is how the wax is afterwards. Where did the wax lay down? All right. You want to see if it's fully melted, if it's something dripping on the sides, if it melted lopsided or uneven. Those are all indications that you want to be able to read that wax and see. Say for instance, you did a pillar ritual, and this is on a plate. And you already indicated your north, south, east, and west, or what's facing. And you have wax that is spread upon, say for instance, the left side. So left usually means something in the past, right? So whatever your workings are, and you have more of the wax to the left side, it means that there is something going on or some issue or something you made to pay attention to in your past, right? The right side is on the future. So meaning something could be coming up, you know, soon. Typically the front side, the front of the wax or what's facing you is going to be your current situation. And then the back side is usually the spirit world, right? So just to give you that interpretation. So now what I have on here is I have some candle working glass that I've done some time ago, but I keep this in my phone and I'm like, oh wow, here's a perfect time to use these images. So I'm just going to show you some different candle readings, right? Now this is called a clean burn. There's no wax. There's hardly any, this is like an inside view here. There's hardly no herbs or anything left. This was a money ritual I did. I wrote the petition on the glass. That's something you can also do. So this is considered a clean burn. And this is a sign that everything has gone according to plan, right? The candle burns completely. There's no mess. You can interpret, like I said, there's any drippings, you would interpret that. But this particular leftover candle means that this petition was successful, right? Now let's talk about a little bit with the black droppings, or when you have droppings at the bottom of the candle, which you see here, that I'm circling. I don't even know if you can see that cursor, but it's the middle picture at the bottom. Now usually it's the candle wick, it sheds, right? So sometimes it just may be that. This is why you assess it, right? It leaves little crumbles at the bottom, right? So even if the ritual works, it can sometimes signify that success will bring a lot of baggage, right? If you have assessed it, or if you're looking at it and like, how did all of this burnt stuff get at the bottom after the candles burn? Well, if it doesn't seem like, if it seems like it came out of nowhere, then that's when you want to assess it. And more than likely, it could be a successful burn, sexual energy, but yet it's going to come with baggage, right? Right. So say, for instance, you did a love spell. It's successful, but it may leave some broken hearts behind, you know, or a successful spell might has unintended circumstances that might come along. So those are different things you want to look at. Now, what happens when when candle remains at the bottom. So you see here, there's wax remaining at the bottom. So there's wax that sticks to the sides of the candle, which you see a little here. There's wax at the bottom of the candle. Even note if there's herbs. My next screen, I'll show you the herbs and glitter that is stuck on the candle. So this can mean that there's unfinished business, especially the rings. And I'm going to go deeper into the rings in one moment. So this could mean unfinished business, or that you may need to do more work, needs to be resolved, or difficulties that still remain there, right? If it leaves a lot of like your roots or stones or things on there, it may have been too overloaded. So that's also something you want to look at. Remember, I told you about overloading your candle. And also with Goddess Southern talked about overloading the candle as well, right? So let's get into the rings just briefly here, right? The rings in the candle. So I know you see these rings, right? Sometimes when a candle burns, it creates those little rifts. So whole rings can signify units of time, like days, weeks, months, specific dates, and things. You can count the rings, right? You count the whole rings, right? And then you can sit with your spirit and determine what is it talking about, days, weeks, or months for your time frame. If you have broken rings, so you have some rings that don't really complete a full circle, right? It didn't melt fully through. They symbolize delays or obstacles, right? In your candle working. So you want to be able to interpret that. How? You can count the whole rings first to get an ideal time frame, then go back and count the broken rings separately for potential delays that may be happening in your candle workings. Okay. And when candle remains here at the bottom, like I was indicating, again, that is, I went over that to make sure. All right, so that there's some workings that still need to be done. So here is another candle reading, right? So you got some glitter and herbs on the side that's sticking here. So I wouldn't say that this candle was overloaded, because I know for a fact I didn't overload it. However, you want to pay attention to which side of the glass the candle is, the residue is sticking, or those herbs. That can give that message. Remember, I spoke about what the left side means, the right side, the front side, and the back side. So you want to see, well, where are these herbs or glitter or whatever you use sticking at? That's going to be your message on what side of the candle to answer you in whatever workings you were doing for that candle itself. Now we're going to talk about white and black soot that remains in the candle. So as you see on this other side, the candle I have here, it has both black and white soot with clearing at the bottom. However, it still has wax at the bottom. This is an important read. This whole candle is a read, okay? So the black soot at the top is going to be some challenges. You have some challenges happening, right? Right when I started the candle working, that is saying, hey, yeah, there's some issues that we're going to have to work through. But yet it goes into the white. So when you have the white soot, that is help from the spirit realm. Anytime you have the white soot, and how can you differentiate white soot from white candle residue? If you stick your hand in there in the glass and you wipe your finger on the side, and it comes off clean, then that was white soot. And so that white soot indicates that you have spirit helping. You have your spirit world helping in that situation. So in this particular candle I'm showing here, I started out with challenges. My spirit world came in to help. It cleared it. As you see towards the bottom, it got clear, but yet I got wax at the bottom. So you know what that means? For this particular ritual, I still had work to do. So whatever I put in at that time, because I do a lot, so I don't know which one this was, but anyway, I put it in. It was like, it's rough, but we gonna work with you. And then they got it like, we cleared it, but baby, you gonna have to do a little bit on your side. That's exactly what this candle is saying. All right. And let me just make sure I got everything on here I wanted to say in my notes. Yep, the white soot. It's a positive sign, so don't get upset. But however, you want to make sure it is soot, not wax, that's sticking. That will help you with your determination on what's going on. It just simply means that you're getting some help from the spirit world. Now, here's a struggle candle. This is what I call a struggle candle, right? I call it a struggle candle because it has a lot of blockages because it has some deep black soot. You see here, it goes almost all the way down to the bottom. It didn't clear until the bottom. It was some heavy opposition I was facing. It was some dark energy going on there that needed to be cleared, right? So, I'm rolling the wrong thing. So this is going to be, anytime 50% or more of the black candle is black and very black, it's some major, like I said, some major blockages. Possible cause is another spells are working against me. Maybe something else I did and it's working against what I did here. It's maybe conflicting intentions. We talked about having clarity in your attention. If you don't, this is what can happen right here, right? That's what happens. Physical or logical impossibility. Maybe I am shooting for a target that might be just not possible. Like, hey, I'm gonna burn this candle so I can go to the moon tomorrow. Like, what is you talking about? Like, okay, you know, you can visualize that and do that, but you ain't gonna do that burning no candle. So what you want to do is, if this happens, don't get discouraged, don't get upset. You stop and recess with divination. Maybe pull some cards for yourself. Maybe use a pendulum if you use that. Some divination rods. Meditation. Sit with yourself and try to determine and run through the process through yourself. Okay, what is causing this blockage? What is causing the issue? Right? Next time, go in again by customizing or strengthening the work. Like maybe first doing a road openings ritual before you do this candle again, right? Or add some of those tools that I talked about in my last presentation when I talked about timing. Use those days, those extra tools, the planetary alignment, the days of the strong. Use those, right? That's going to give you that extra oomph, right? Or if all else fails, you can use alternative results. Sometimes you get moderate black smoke, and then there's a light black smoke, which I talked about. That's just some roughage there at the beginning. Uneven black smoke, you may see that, just in case. I don't have a picture here, but just in case you want to see that. Like, say for instance, one side of the glass is black smoke and the other side is not. You're like, what the heck? That is so weird, you know? But however, it could mean that resistance tied to change if there's resistance basically that's tied to either the changes or the conditions, either your emotions, finances, or health, things of that sort. maybe the interpretation is off. So external factors are interfering with the unpredictably. You know, maybe it was, you want to assess this, was the air conditioner blowing on my candle while my working was going on? It therefore caused the flame to move closer to one side of the glass and actually burn it, but the candle burned through. You need to assess that. Don't all of a sudden do a working, see one thing is black or something and feel like, oh, it all went to hell. That may not be the case. It may have been some external influences that was beyond your control, but yet you still have a successful burn. It was just the interference. That was nothing, a personal attack to you, right? So when that happens, again, assess it. Divination may be needed, right? You may need to do some blockbuster work, breaking up those blockages and things of that sort. So I just wanted to be able to have you to be able to know what that means. Now, the last thing I just want to cover, just showing on this same slide, because you can see here at the bottom, there's wax. And in the middle, you see there's herbs, right? Let's talk about that. So if the herbs are clustered in the center with thick blanket of wax at the bottom, like you see here, you know what it means? And it tells the story because you see the black. My spell's not strong enough to achieve the goal that I was putting in to that candle, right? Accountability. It just wasn't strong enough. I was asking more of the candle than the intentions and strength I put into it, right? I was asking for more than, and there wasn't nothing wrong with that. It's just that whatever external circumstances is going on around me, even my thoughts that could have negative thoughts or not really trusting or blocking thoughts, those are also things that's going to interfere with that and cause you to have the herbs clustered at the bottom and also wax there as well, and not that clean burn that I showed you in the other slide there, right? So it could be weak energy or unclear intents, like I said, right? Confirmation of effectiveness. The wax blanket reinforces that the work is stuck or incomplete. So you may need to just simply clear your intentions and do it again. That's all. If that's something you really want to get across for yourself. Okay, so this whole entire episode brought to you by myself and my beautiful co-host, Goddess Mystic Light and Goddess Southern. We've all took a piece of this knowledge from these books, as well as our own knowledge from working, doing rituals and doing spiritual work, right? But for your reference, because it's always important that you discern for yourself, right? Real simple, how to do easy books, whatever your flavor is, whatever you resonate with. That's why I have some options, because not everybody gonna resonate with one thing. You know what I'm saying? The study deepens the practice, right? The more you understand the language of candle work, the more intentional your rituals become. So practical candle magic. I talked about this book in our last episode on altar work. Perfect book. Very simple, very basic. It's going to give you the basics. So you can have the format down and then create your own magic by Philip Cooper. Then you have the art of hoodoo candle magic. If you're into the hoodoo, a lot of people are, and that's great. So if you resonate with that, here's a great book for candle magic. If you are into Wicca, and Wiccan magic, which is a great basic system. That system in itself, it gives you a lot of basic foundations in magic. That's pretty much what Wicca does. I wouldn't say it's deep, but it'll give you some start. It'll give you a basic understanding on magic, elements, all type of things, right? But this is a good book for the Wicca Candle Magic, if you resonate, by Lisa Chamberlain, that will assist you in your study. Okay, mystics? All right. Let me put everybody back on the screen. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. I actually got a glass candle I gotta read. And I was like, it's a good thing that we doing this, because I'm like, as I'm listening to you, I'm like, I'm basically reading my candle, because I remember what you look like, and I was like, okay, and I'm up here thinking I know what I need to do for self. So this is it's all in alignment. So great information. I affirm you mystics actually took something from this.
Me too. Hope y'all took them notes. You can always come back and look. Now this time we're not gonna have a I don't know, guys. You think we're gonna do a ritual at the end of this, or put an ritual candle? I mean, we kind of left you a lot of knowledge to go for your own devices. I mean, I really don't feel like too much demonstration would be needed for that, because you want to get the practical steps down.
When we did episode, we did a ritual. So the ritual that we did that episode, that counts. And I love that you have the examples of how to read the aftermath. So it's a plethora of knowledge we just shared.
Absolutely. I agree. So this episode won't include a ritual at the end that you can go back, because episode 9 has a ritual at the end, cord cutting with goddess. All right. And episode 10 with your altar has an altar setup video at the end of that episode as well. So you can see that. So you can put all of that knowledge together and agree and create your own magic. There is no right or wrong way to go into it. We just gave you the foundation to assist you to do it in a more successful way. Didn't say it was a wrong way. I didn't do it the right way. I said successful way. That's the difference.
Very much so. Very much so.
Now,
I do have a question.
Yeah.
There was a conversation that we had off Goddess After Dark, and we was talking about where we got our 7-day candles from. And I mentioned the Dollar Tree 7-day candles. Could you share with our audience, based off of where you purchased your candle, those 7-day candles, the difference in, how that would affect the ritual?
Okay, absolutely. So in my opinion, because get your tools wherever you need to do it. I tend to not go for the Dollar Tree candle because it's just how they're poured. And so I find that because you when you get them, the wax is offset, it's dipped out, that can affect your ritual, right? So be mindful of that with those particular candles. They're strong enough, the glass is strong enough to hold, but I noticed when I did use them and when the wax is dipped or different, the wick is like extremely long. Plus you need to cut your wick. That'll also lessen those black droppings at the bottom. But I'm just a little leery on those. So what I do go for is there is a Mexican market, or you have they're not called bodegas. What are they called? It starts with a B. Botanicas. You have botanicas. You also have some Mexican markets. If those are in your area, the grocery stores, they will have candle shelves that you can get those tall glass candles. And they come from this jute St. Jude Candle Company.
Mm.
It's just a generic, a regular company that houses. You can't go to. They don't have a website. You can't buy directly from them, but they're a
Yeah.
wholesale. But they make some very good even. And that's where I get all of my ritual candles from, because I like how they're even topped. I mean, like they can give you what you need within that. Also, you have other metaphysical stores you can go into. And I do want
Yes.
to talk about the difference. I thought I had one over here.
Reason why I brought that up because I will purchase my 7-day candles from Dollar Tree from where I am. There are some botanicals, you just gotta find it. And I am being observant as to how they all burn. And I noticed every last one of them kept having like a ring of wax. And I was like, I noticed, like, now is it the candle?
That's
Where I'm
that's
finding. So I'm
that's
holding myself accountable.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
ensuring I hold myself accountable, but I'm ensuring that, after I do so, is it the type of brand that I'm getting? You
Right.
know, yeah, so yeah.
And that's good assessment. And that's exactly what you do. You assess and say, is it me or is it you? You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
if you keep seeing that, knowing that maybe you did a chime ritual, that was great. That burn cleared all the way through. It wasn't nothing less. You know what I'm saying? Just giving you other signs and other workings that things are positive, but yet that keeps, then you can rule out the fact that it's probably that quality of candle. I just wanted to bring this up right quick, guys. I don't want to keep everybody too long, but because there is a difference in the pillar visual candles that we use or I showed on here. You have a 7-day candle, which is actually a little wider. It's just by maybe an inch on both sides.
Yep.
That will absolutely burn 7 to 10 days. This is what I tell people. It will, because if it's fast action, if it's like 5 days, I mean, your petition was out of here. Like it had movement. Or if it's slow burning, that's okay. It just needed that energy. So what's important is how you read it at the end. Now you have the standard ones, like the ones I showed you, the ones that I use that I
Yep.
get from the market. Those candles can burn from 3 to 7 days. All right. 3 is the absolute fastest, fast ass energy. It is guaranteed to at least burn 5 days. But 3, it can go 3, but that's some quick energy. Like it was like, oh, we was waiting on this. It's in there, and then you can have it burn the full. It can stretch, like I said, all the way to 7. I've had that happen. I've done money rituals where that thing burnt me 7 days, and it was like a 3 to 5 day candle, but it burned clean at the end. It needed all of that energy to get all
Do
that.
its work. Let it do its work.
You know what I'm saying? So right, and I didn't watch it. I just let it go, and then I look at it at the end and see where we at, what we got going. So I just wanted to leave a couple of those tips with the candle magic. You can refer to this video anytime to help y'all with y'all candle magic. I encourage you to experiment with your candle magic. I encourage you to visit 7 Universe and get some of those figurative candles because they are amazing. They are very already intentionally created. On
Yes.
my personal website on AIM Suite 9 and Metaphysical Suite 9, I
Yes.
have pre-dressed candles already where I have already created the intention. I have dressed the candle for you. I sell them also when I do pop-up vending shows, and comes complete with Palo Santo stick. It comes complete with the brown paper needed for your petition. So we have supplies for you, or you can do your own. We like to shameless plug, but I also want you to be a active practitioner.
There you
Okay,
go.
I'm
There
gonna
you go.
put your own destiny in your own hands.
Put your own funk on it, okay? Put your
Right
stink on
on it. Yeah. Put it on it. So I'm gonna take this down. I really I affirm that all of the mystics here Really enjoyed this informative episode, and you have been enjoying our show. Thus far, we are again in episode 11. We hit this major gateway. Okay,
That's the number, y'all.
okay, that's the number. We hit it, and we get better and better each time you see us.
Yes.
We do upload a video every Tuesday, at 8 p.m. every Tuesday.
8 p.m. y'all.
Now I'm gonna make a little interjection this time. Y'all gonna see Goddess After Dark, possibly, maybe on time, maybe not, because next week is a big time frame, and we'll be a little busy because I'm having a big celebration. It is a transformation time when my solar return is coming. And the goddesses, they gonna be on deck. We gonna be in the same room, honey. We popping.
Fuck up. Okay.
I guarantee a recording of Goddess After Dark. But however, soon as that's over with, it still might be. It might be. We get it together. But what we do have for you is something very special. And we are going to get into, what was it, Goddess? Sigil magic.
Yes.
And
I'm excited for that.
It was another topic. Wait a minute. I got to tell you.
Talking about a lot of stuff, but sigils was the one that we were talking about the most.
I'm gonna give y'all the title for our next episode, so you can just be mindful and watch for it when it comes around. You know what I'm saying? When it comes on deck. All right. So our next episode, which is going to be episode number 12, which equals the 3. Okay, we can do this.
Fine support. All right.
Absolutely. So that episode is going to be over sigil magic. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Like, wait a minute now. Sigils, symbols, and sacred geometry. It's the hidden language of the subconscious mind. Y'all ready for that? Sigils, symbols, and sacred geometry. I've been telling y'all all this time how the subconscious speaks. So we are going to talk about how the subconscious speaks in the hidden language that is with symbols, sigils, and sacred geometry. I'm excited to tell y'all.
I'm excited too. Every time we do this, I just want you guys to know we're on this journey too. So every time we do this, I actually sit down and do my portion, and then we get to presenting. It strengthens my wisdom and knowledge and everything. So I actually enjoy doing this. So I'm pretty sure y'all enjoy seeing us up here being silly and presenting these real life embodiments that we actually do. So we love y'all for the love and support.
We sure do. We thank you all. And Mystic Light sends her love. She had a client, so she had to go. But we ain't gonna stop the goddess from going. Okay, we close it out, girl. We got this.
Yes.
But she did a phenomenal job in bringing y'all the knowledge at the beginning of our episode. And we are signing out, and we affirm that you all having a safe and amazing evening as we drift off into the dark. Peace from Goddess After Dark.
Ashe, peace, much love.
After dark, got this.